Hello students, welcome you all for the course of Human Relations and Legal Framework. Today is our lecture 6 and the topic of our today's discussion is features and socio-economic environment of labor laws. The objective of our today's session is to understand the features and socio-economic environment of labor laws. The contents of our today's sessions are features of labor laws, socio-economic environment of labor laws, features of labor laws. See, when we are going to study this labor legislation, so we came to know about the jurisprudence. That jurisprudence is nothing but the system, okay, it is a system of law which will have the different forms of laws, and these laws will be enable to solve the problems of industries, labor, management and trade union. So whenever these labor are working in any enterprises, so primarily we are using some particular form of laws. So these are the labor laws specifically, okay, which are going to solve the problems of employment in any industrial enterprises. So these labor law systems do not take into account the industrial sector in which they operate. So there is no distinction in between the industries first of all. So all industries are considered, okay, in that law equally, whether it is a public, private or any joint venture or any cooperative sector industries, that will be taken into account. Okay, this is one of the basic and very important feature of this labor law. All sectors are treated equally in a matter of operation of labor laws. So since there are different forms of laws that are available in our Indian system, okay, and all these sectors are treated equally, okay, irrespective of whatever form of laws, it will be applicable to all the industries. So whenever we are primarily handling the various problems with respect to labor, so these labor legislations also do not take into account the consideration of size of the industry which they apply. So either it is a small scale industry, tiny industry, okay, heavy or large scale manufacturing industry or any small and medium scale enterprises. So it will not take into account what form of industry it is, and these labor laws are applicable to all the industries. So when we are talking about these labor laws, okay, these labor laws or labor legislations will be applicable to all the sizes of the industry, and irrespective of these sizes, these laws are applicable to either tiny industry, small industry, medium industries, large as well as heavy manufacturing industries. So there is no discrimination in between the industries, okay, whatever the size of the industry, these laws are applicable to all types of industries. So here again, whatever form of industries are there, okay, and using labor within their organization, these laws are applicable to all the industries. Both the manufacturing and service sector of the industries are treated alike, whatever it may be there, either manufacturing or services. These labor laws are applicable to both the type of sectors, manufacturing sector as well as service sector, despite there is a tremendous difference in between the work culture. So whenever we are going to apply these labor laws, so try to identify whether these labor laws, okay, will be applicable to the manufacturing unit, okay, or it will be applicable to the any service sector or service industries like banking, okay, telecommunication and so on. So when we are talking about, okay, these form of industries, okay, that time, okay, we need to consider both the kind of industry, whether it will be manufacturing or service sector industries, but there is no difference in between these sectors. Many labor laws have been enacted to meet the exigencies of the situation. See, what happened whenever we are conducting any industrial activity by means of employment of labor in the industry. So that time, whatever form of contingencies, whatever form of exigencies of the situation, according to this situation, okay, we need to consider the particular form of law and which particular law would be applicable. We find a lot of ad hocism in the labor law. So sometimes these laws should create some sort of problem, but there are several provisions are available in the various laws. Okay, say for example workers compensation, okay, that should be provided according to the form of insurance which has been made available under the Insurance Act. So to meet these exigencies and whatever the provisions are available in these labor laws, these exigencies need to be considered, okay, and according to the situation, the compensation need to be provided to the particular employees, okay, in the form of whatever form of injuries that was happened due to hazards or accidents. So finally we came to know, okay, generally labor laws are made applicable to industries in India on twofold criteria. So in India we are applying this British system, okay, employment limit within the unit in the industry, means how many number of laborers are employed within an industry, and on the basis of wage limit of the employees in that unit. So these two criteria are primarily applied, okay, whether to apply a particular form of labor law in that particular industry. Socio-economic environment of labor laws. While we are talking about the socio-economic environment, okay, there would be different form of factors that need to be considered, but we need to also consider whatever the fundamental rights as well as the directive principle of the state policy, whatever information that they has been communicated in the different articles. So the socio-economic conditions prevailing in our country have a powerful bearing on achievement of the objective, okay, in the preamble as well as directive principle of the state policy. In our India's constitution, it has been embarked, okay, that the legitimate rights of the working class, means specifically the labor, that need to be protected, and as well as it should be also directed by the directive principle of the state policy. So the following points would be very important, okay, while we are considering the socio-economic environment and application of these specifically the labor laws in this socio-economic environment. We need to consider the cost of the labor. As we came to know, okay, in India we find out that the larger human resource that those who are occupying the jobs in unorganized sector. So we came to know the cost of the labor in unorganized sector is very low, and these laborers are being sometimes treated exploited. So it is quite necessary to identify, okay, what are the various probable variables, okay, with respect to the different sort of sectors wherever the cost of labors need to be one of the very important factor in many industrial organizations, particularly wherever we will find out the situations like heavy and large scale manufacturing, okay, the trend and skilled workers are not available within this industry due to the rising cost of the labor. So this is one of the very essential element, okay, whenever we are going to define any labor policy particularly, and how does it will create the effect on the employment. Now government time to time they will change the policies and so as to make the changes and bring this labor class into the contribution of the development of the economy. So what will be the impact on the employment? Either the employment could be generated, okay, on the basis of whatever the schemes and policies could be made available to the working class, but primarily the government try to promote the several activities through which they think about to promote the employment within the specific areas or certain uh, uh, trusted areas of employment. Effect on productivity. Simultaneously these labor policies are framed, okay, so that they need to, many of the industries are focusing on increasing productivity production as well as good quality products. So it is quite necessary to ensure the productivity, okay, and how does these labor policies are formed, and what would be their terms and conditions of the employment that should be specified. Prices in the rising labor cost and gains. So we came to know, okay, during the situations of crunches, specifically economic slowdown, we came to know the cost of the labor rapidly increases. So in many industry we are facing some problems with respect to labor employment, okay, but the issue need to be solved very appropriately. So that's why we need to consider to frame the appropriate economic policies for the employment generation, okay, and as well as to how does that employment generation can be termed as the engine of growth for the country. Social dynamics. See, in overall, whenever we are going to study the labor laws, we need to also consider the social environment. Now in case of that social environment, okay, there will be labor management, trade union and the organization at large, and finally the society. For what purpose we are going to frame these labor laws? What are the objective behind that? Only for the growth and development of the society, only for the rising the standard of living of the labor as well as the general masses. So social conscience is quite necessary whenever we are going to frame any labor policy. So social conscience of general community becomes more live and active as the welfare policy of the state takes a more dynamic form as a national economy progresses from stage to stage. While framing any form of labor policy or labor law, we need to consider what is the situation within that state or region. Simultaneously, okay, we need to consider the growing strength of the trade union movement and collective bargaining enters the field where structure ceases to be purely arithmetical problem. The mutual coordination in between the labor, the management and the trade union, they are very cohesively involved in the process of production. But the situation would not be same across the units of the organization. So we came to know whatever changes are being required, okay, that should be in the consonance of the social structure of the society, okay. So whenever we are talking about the social structure, we need to consider the customs, habits, okay, and some sort of social norms within the particular society or in that particular region or state. Simultaneously, we need to define the wage structure. Wage structure is nothing but the kind of hierarchy, okay, under which these labors need to be paid. And we came to know that it is a purely an arithmetical problem, okay, how does their wages are being defined depending on some social structure, depending on the whatever kind of mutual relationship between labor and management, and considering the social situation within that particular state or area, okay, these wage structures are defined. Basic minimum wages. Now it is the right of the laborer, okay, and as well as the government of India has been enacted the constitutions, okay, by means of using its preamble and the directive principle of the state policy. So there are certain standards the governments are setting, okay, it is because of socio-economic aspects of the wage structure. Okay, how should be the minimum wage that need to be provided to the laborer? So what are the per day living wages that are required to survive themselves, okay, or for their livelihood? That should be decided very well, and primarily considering certain industrial adjudication postulate that no employer can engage the industrial labor unless he pays it what may be regarded as a minimum basic wage. So there is a process of settlement of industrial dispute, okay, that is called as industrial adjudication. So in this provision, okay, or the machinery told that, okay, no employer can engage the laborer in any industrial premises unless he will pay the basic minimum wages to the laborers. If he cannot pay such wages, he has no right to engage the labor and no justification for carrying on this industry. If suppose any employer, those who are not paying legitimately to these laborers, okay, such kind of employers, they do not have to run the industry and they could not employ any labor, those who are not protecting the rights of the laborers. One of the very important principle of this policy, a labor policy, by means of considering the factor of demand and supply. The principle of supply and demand has lost its validity in a matter of employment of human labor, and that is duty of the society and the welfare state to assure to every workman engaged in the operation the payment of what is in the context of times appear to the minimum wages. So to fulfill the appropriate demand and supply pattern within the state or within that particular region or area, that demand supply pattern has lost its validity in a matter of employment of human labor. Now it is the duty of the society to justify whatever form of legitimate rights of the workers that is need to be protected by the societal members and as well as the industries, those who are employing this labor. Okay, so it is quite necessary to assure to every workman, okay, that is need to be engaged in any industrial operation, okay, and they need to be provided with basic minimum wages. Social justice. As far as this form of justice need to be considered, it is quite necessary to provide some appropriate form of wage structure, okay, particularly to the labor class, those who are employing in different industrial units. So the fixation of that wage structure is among the most difficult tasks in many of the industries, and how to tackle this wage structure, okay, that is need to be considered what form of situation or environment within that state or region. For the development of national economy, an attempt should be made to secure the workmen okay, a fair share of national income which they help to produce. So it is quite necessary to define the workers' participation in management, okay, by means of inculcating such a kind of policy, and need to define the laborer share, okay, in the development of the national economy simultaneously in the industry. So government and as well as the industries has initiated, okay, that labor participation in management, okay, and by means of that they are going to define the worker share in the industry as well as the national economy for the development and growth of the country. Therefore care has to be taken by means of using fair distribution, okay, but does not tend to dry up the source of the national income itself. So whenever we are going to implement any form of labor laws or any labor policy, care should be taken in regard to fair distribution of wages, means irrespective of considering the caste, creed, okay, or the gender, okay, there will be a fair distribution of wages among all types of laborers, particularly to meet their daily livelihood. So daily living wages or minimum wages that need to be defined by the industry as well as by the government. Inflationary pricing. Now in overall economies the situation would not remains the same. So we came to know there will be sometimes the prices are rising, and due to which we are facing some problems in the economy. So the rise in prices that often results from the rise of the workmen's wages. Does it mean that the workers' wages are appropriate, okay, as per the situation, as per the rising prices in the economy? So may it will turn some certain form of effect, okay, on the members of the community, and may even affect the prejudicially, okay, the living conditions of the workmen themselves. So it is quite necessary to understand the business environment within the country, okay, and what is the economic situation. Does not mean that, okay, there will be inflationary situation due to the rising wages of the workman, okay, it would not be the situation like that in most of the cases. There will be certain other different and other important factors that are responsible for rising prices, and there will be the inflationary situation within the country. So it is quite necessary to identify the other laws of economies and identify what are the various factors that are responsible for rising wages of the workers. So whether that rising wages of the workers will result it into the overall inflationary pricing in our economy, does it mean that, or whether there are some other important factors that should be taken into account. The effect of such rise in the prices of our country's international trade cannot be always ignored. See, we are also conducting the international business activity, and we need to identify, okay, the demand and supply pattern in international markets. Particularly whenever there is a demand, okay, we will identify there is a lot of surpluses to the industries, and they will get some export orders, and we came to know, okay, the wages will be provided appropriately to the large number of workforce. So whenever we are considering from the perspectives of that international trade, so there are different factors: export, import, balance of trade, balance of payment, okay, there are different problems, okay, which are being related with the international economies that need to be considered. Thus numerous complex factors, some of which are economic, some of which are come from certain social psychology, gives rise to certain conflicting considerations that have to be borne in mind. Nor does the process of valuation of the numerous factors remain static. It means that, okay, whenever we are conducting any kind of business activity, so we need to consider some important factors, particularly from the home economies as well as from the host economies. When we are considering the home economies, we need to consider the domestic market and what is the situation in the domestic market, and accordingly we need to identify whether the prices of the labor are being increasing or not, okay, and does it cause to the inflationary pricing, or there will be certain other important factors that are being related with certain social psychology or the societies, whether that will gives rise to some conflicting situation, okay. It will be possible for us to make the correction in the existing wages of the workers, and try to give them some sort of justice by means of providing the fair minimum wages to them. Labor movement. When we are talking about this labor movement, okay, India has been very pioneer since the industrial revolution. There are number of the labor leaders, okay, trade union leaders that will govern the trade union movement in India. International movement in cause of labor have many years influenced the thinking and sometimes even judicial thinking in such matter. So while framing such kind of laws and policies specifically which are being related with labor, so it is quite necessary to think in this direction, okay, and simultaneously to think about what is the international movement, okay, that will govern by certain international organizations like ILO. So what ILO says, what other organization says, what is the Indian standards has been said, okay. So how does it cause to the labor movement? So international movement in cause of labor have many years influenced the thinking and sometimes even the judicial thinking in such matter. So in overall we came to know this labor movement, okay, either it should be incepted by individual labor leaders or trade union leaders. So as well as there are number of trade unions in India, Hind Mazdoor Sabha, okay, INTUC, okay, or Forward Bloc, okay, there are large trade unions. So we came to know how does the labor movement has been influenced, okay. Either there will be some political motives, even many of the political parties are also running the trade union. So we need to identify, okay, what form of judiciary has been required. To judiciary also they were changed their perspectives from time to time into such matter, and they were made lot of enactments in the different labor laws. So implementation of these labor laws sometimes would be difficult for any particular industry if suppose they are not familiar with the different form of enactments, okay, or whatever changes has been happened in different rules and regulations, okay. In India, the emergence of independent democratic has influenced the matter even more profoundly. So we came to know, okay, after the independence, the India has made a lot of changes in their existing policies because we were adopted the British system, and simultaneously after the independence, okay, the Indian government has made lot of changes in the existing laws. They were defined, okay, by means of using the directive principles as well as the fundamental rights, okay. Finally the constitution has made, and some legitimate rights of the workers are being protected. So we try to define the overall the country's democratic processes. So here all the legitimate rights of the working class that need to be protected, and whatever changes has been happening, okay, into these various industries, okay, the changes in rules and regulations. So this emergence of these changes, the government tries to promote the industrial democracy, and they also try to promote the overall harmony and peace in industrial premises. Duration of hours of work. When we are talking about the duration of hours of work, it is quite necessary to think about the fixation of hours of work. That is one of the very important factor, and that should be on the basis of social and economic factors prevailing in the country. So what will be the payment, okay, according to the hours of work that need to be defined. Long working hours affect the health of the workers, and that should be primarily undertaken by all the premises, and this can be further damage to the industry as well as the economy of the country, and sometimes it is beyond the control to recover. Fatigue results in accidents, injuries, and sickness, okay, or absenteeism. If suppose the proper care has not been taken places with respect to the implementation of labor laws, okay, that will result it into the fatigue and some sort of stress on the workers, and that may cause some sort of hazards, accidents, injuries, sickness, okay, or there is a problem of absenteeism in the industrial premises. So it is quite necessary to understand the labor law and implement these laws and fix by means of using fixation of wages of the workers, okay, according to the pay per hour policy or whatever the wage policy, according to that they need to be paid. Hours of work has to be fixed in consideration of various factors, okay, including the question of fatigue on health of the workmen, the effect on their efficiency, physical discomfort, and so many other factors are being responsible for that. So whatever will be the causes, if suppose the proper wages has not been provided to the workers according to duration of hours of work, so that may result it into certain sort of fatigue, stress, okay, physical discomfort due to the accidents, okay, the workers could not be perform their duties due to their uh, loss or damage of suppose say forelimb, eye, okay, or leg on the workplace. So proper compensation need to be provided, and its related work need to be provided so that they need to satisfy their daily desire, as well as they can make their survival as easier as possible. So we need to consider long and continuous strain, the need of leisure in the workman lives, the work prevailing, the similar activities in some region, and also in the concern and other relevant factors that should be taken into account. Fixation of the wage scale. Whenever we recently talk about the wage structure, so it is quite necessary to define the fixation of wages. So different law commissions come as well as wage policies came into India, and they tries to fix the wage scale, okay, of the working class, and it is a matter of questions among each government. Whenever they comes in power, they need to define the wage structure of the laborers. In fixing the proper wage scale, the question of the workload and working hours cannot be left wholly out of consideration. While framing any labor policy, and one of the very important criteria of fixation of wage scale. So while fixation of wage scale, okay, we need to define what is the workload, okay, which has been assigned to the particular form of labor class. So either it may be a 8-hour shift, okay, or 10-hour shift, depending on that, and their working hours are need to be defined, and as well as their wage structure need to be defined. May the other factors including the need of the workman, their financial resources of the employer, rate of wages prevailing in the other industries in that particular region have to be considered in deciding the wage scale. See, while framing any form of labor policy and fixing the wages of the workers, so we need to consider some other environmental variables. So it will consider the financial resources of the employer, whatever resources that are available to the employer need to pay the minimum fair wages to the workers, okay, and try to protect the legitimate rights of the workers. the rate of wages prevailing in the industries, whatever form of standard in that particular region that need to be paid. It would be against in the interest of the workman and the employer and the country as a whole to bring into force the wage rate moving on slight scale according to the hours of work. Now in certain states or in particular region, wage per hour policy can be implemented. So what are the wage rates, okay, according to wage per hour, okay, that need to be defined. So what is the business environment within that particular industrial premises, okay, considering these, the employer need to be paid to these workers. The proper solution with respect to whatever the difficulty lies in finding the wage scale after considering all the relevant factors including working hours and fix the working hours on the consideration of all relevant factors but an eye to effect on overtime payment of the workman. So while framing these labor policies or fixation of wages in that labor policies, so some other factors which are relevant to fixation of wages, so while we may consider their working hours, okay, and we also consider some sort of factors which are in relation with the work overtime. So overtime allowances or overtime payment are quite necessary if the workers are employed in the employment and they are working some extra time within that industrial premises, so that is need to be considered. So that is all about the features and as well as the socio-economic environment of labor laws. Okay, that's all about our today's session. Okay, and we will continue the session further. Thank you very much.